good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where we are around the world. Just going to trade not long ago, actually called out once again in the members group for another win. So 4-0 for the week, every single trade, well, 1 on stream this week and 3 away from the stream, but every single trade called out in the members group. 4-0, it's been a cracking week. Took a gold sell just here for a quick scalp, quick win. Right, I got taken out break even, but we could have some re-entries shortly, guys. So we'll do the analysis moving forward, see what we can come up with on both Gold and GJ. If we do close to the low, preferably engulfing, then there's going to be some further sell options on the table in 9 minutes from now, guys. So guys, without further ado, if you could, make sure to please hit that like button on YouTube, TikTok, smash that screen for me. If you have any charts, any questions you'd like me to have a look at, please feel free to do so, and I will get to those shortly, guys. Let me first of all have a look at the news to see what we've got moving forward here today in regards to schedule news for our time on the stream here today. Nothing really in the way of schedule news. We do have construction PMI a little later on for the pound, but that would likely be just after I've finished the stream. Otherwise, pretty big day though. We do have the monetary policy statement coming out of the EU, and also obviously unemployment claims and the ECB press conference later today, leading into tomorrow, a big day NFP. So guys, it's got some big news events to be wary of moving forward into the remainder of the week. But guys, without further ado, any charts, any questions, I'll get to you guys shortly. In the meantime, let's have a look at the beast that is the gold. And what we can see is obviously on the weekly time frame, starting that weekly time frame, no lower wick. Once again, like I always say, everyone screams for it to pop back down and create it. I say not necessarily. Doesn't have to do it so long as any pullback is met by previous levels of support formed on the move to the upside. That's so far what gold has done all throughout the week, and eventually gathers some more liquidity, some more momentum, creates the higher high, and continues to push bullish. So a strong bullish on the weekly time frame, hovering above that previous weekly candle sign, and we can make our way onto the daily. The daily, what we can see is we are again bullish in structure, but we're focused a little bit more on the candles at this point on the higher time frame. Previous candle did close back bullish. We have attempted to break the high of that previous candle, but not quite broken it by the looks of it, and we are now starting to reject. At this rate, we still have the counter probabilities to the upside based off the previous candle. So we're an inside bar candle in the minute. And what we can now see is we can move down to the 4-hour time frame, and we are technically bullish in structure on the 4-hour time frame here. We got some clean room, nice price action actually for a sell based off the 4-hour, based off that little weak pause, that previous level of resistance. Price begin to break it. That could have been a potential entry point just based off the higher time frame, targeting this support. But anyway, enough of that. Let's mark in resistance. We'll mark in the highest point of the current level. As far as support, we'll just mark in that bullish candle. We'll make our way down to the 30-minute time frame. So we're currently range bound. We did create an equal high or tap into the resistance created from earlier in the week, and we could be heading back down to the support onto the 30-minute time frame, and that appears to be bullish as well. So it's technically bullish, but what we are doing now within the current daily candle is we're starting to form some structure to the downside. Just one moment, guys. All right, so I can adjust that zone a little bit. We're starting to form some structure to the downside, guys. So we've created that equal high, now create that lower low. So we're closing at this rate, a very strong bearish M30 candle. What we need to determine is, do we have the margin to take the sell back down? At the minute, yes we do. We've still got just over 5 minutes remaining of the current candle though, so price could still make the move. Not interested in taking the impulse entry just at this minute. So what I'm going to be doing on gold here is just to wait and see where this candle closes. If we do close engulfing, then we could look for some continuation sells on the following candle. We definitely got the margin to the downside. Definitely need the upper wick on the entry candle. We need this candle to leave a little bit of lower wick. Aside from that, I'm going to mark in this level as the previous level of resistance that we've most recently created. Now, if we were to pull back to that level and remain in this intraday downtrend, then I want price to respect that zone there at 33.6850 to 33.70. If we do remain below it, pop back up only to reject, we could look for possible options to sell it. Now, if we were to continue bearish though, there is not much of a need for us to pop back above this resistance. If we do so, what we can see is we have some clean traffic to the left hand side. Not only that, we are in a big strong uptrend. So if price was to flip the micro trend back bullish in line with the actual structure itself and begin to close above this 33.70, at that point I would be looking for my options to take a buy back up to the next level here at 33.75 and then potentially up to the daily high. So that is what I'd be looking at on gold for the minute. Now, further options will be obviously if we do just begin to melt, or even if we get involved in a sell to take it back down, I'll be looking for a price to pop back down to that 4-hour support. Seeing it's come from the daily high, probably prefer it to form a little bit of structure from this point here and await a possibility to take a potential buy from the 4-hour, just train a 4-hour range, buying it from support. And that is my plan moving forward here on the gold. So hopefully that makes sense. Pretty simple one. We've got to wait just over 3 minutes. Now, I don't want this candle to begin to reject and leave a long lower wick, because that would just trigger, in my opinion, I would deem it to be a little bit indecisive, the price action. I would prefer for it to actually wipe out this bullish candle and close back below it in order to trust the sellers, because remember, we are counter trend. So again, that's the rule right now. Once close right near the low of that bullish candle. If not, I'm not going to take another entry just yet. Just need to wait. Hopefully it made sense, guys. Meantime, I'm just going to remove that zone for the time being, so we are a fair distance off it. I'll focus on that minor zone just there. So 2.5 minutes remaining. I will take a look at GJ shortly. I kind of just want to watch gold just in case until this candle closes, and then we will do the proper rundown on GJ. To be honest, it looks pretty ordinary. I did mention it into my members group before. I don't like these slow trickles, to be honest, especially against a high time frame picture, that previous daily, more so than anything. Kind of a lot of the time what it's followed by is a waterfall. So hesitant to buy it right now, but we'll do the rundown shortly, guys, either way. So just got under 2 minutes to remain here on gold to see where this candle closes. Like I said, we want it to close close to the low of that bullish candle in order to consider any options to take a sell on the following candle. Took the sell just before the stream, called it out into the members group, full detail what I was looking at in the trade ideas section. Stop loss entry, gave the guys a few minutes to prepare and got the entry. I know at least one or two took the entry, and yeah, very good early start to proceedings here today. Just over a minute remaining, guys. In the meantime, YouTube, Franco, James, appreciate you. TikTok to the 40 odd of you on stream at the minute. Welcome, welcome. Thank you to the new followers. F90, more to you, mate. Mark, appreciate you. Welcome. Extra short goal from 3,500. We'll close on 1,200. Watch monthly chart. It's over fully back to. All right, fair enough. It's a man with a plan. 1,200. I hope it drops to 1,200, but somehow I just don't think it will. But that's just my opinion. All right, we're about to close here on the gold, so it doesn't look like we're going to have a valid entry just yet, but we'll watch it till the very end because gold can move very quickly. Mark only just learned the importance of journaling my trades. Got a spreadsheet now. Very, very important thing to do. I can't stress enough. I do it every single trade I take is either called out in the trade ideas section or on, if not this stream, on a live call of the members. So every single trade is documented in my VIP. All right, so not quite the catalyst I wanted to see. Well, not even a catalyst. So we'll move on to GJ, guys, and I will answer any questions from the chat. Alright, so looking at GJ, I mentioned yesterday, this 194, 195 level is just a really difficult level, difficult nut for GJ to crack. Keeps pulling back, and we're hovering back below that 194 flat at the minute. Kind of a doji candle in the current weekly. We've got a long week in either direction, forming very weak bullish at this stage. What we can see is the daily did close back strong bearish. However, we did tap into a support, so it is a potential level for price to bounce off. Now, that being said, what sort of catalyst will we need to see in order to trust the buy? First of all, structure is actually bullish on the daily time frame at that support, so that would, I'd be more inclined off the back of that to favor the buys. Now, the 4 hour, what we got is counter probabilities being to the upside. Not only that, we actually have the structure as well being to the upside. I think I went over this yesterday. It's just fractionally closed below the lowest point. So that being said, the 4 hour has a bit of room still to the downside, and it kind of looks like we may be potentially pulling back to create a lower high at the minute. But again, I can't go off what I think we might be doing. I need to react to what I see happening, so that no confirmation of that just yet. Onto the 30-minute time frame, marking that level there as resistance. And what I can see on GJ, so the 30 minutes bullish. So the buys, believe it or not, is actually bullish on GJ here today. Thing is, I just don't see, I mean, right now, if you're not in a buy, I feel like it's kind of chasing it, and there is no real momentum at the minute on this chart at all. It's just a slow trickle up. So normally in this situation, what I prefer to see is let the buyers come in or let the sellers come in. And if the sellers come in, let it dump this thing down, create a clean move to cut through the mess to the downside. And then all we're looking for is price to form support at any of the previous levels here to the left, and then wait a price action catalyst to look for a potential buy. Aside from that, similar thing to the upside. I'm not against selling it off the back of that previous daily candle, being that strong bearish candle. But once again, I need a strong catalyst. At the minute, I don't quite have it. If I do have it, for instance, a bearish engulfing M30, we need to determine at that point there, will we have enough margin to take a sell back down? Probably not, because you're running straight into some more support. So the better option right now will be just to let GJ do its thing, preferably make a nice clean move up. Not necessarily needing to tap into 194, 350, but it would be great if it did. Look out for rejection and then look for a sell, or other way, nice clean move up, quickly pulls back, form support for a potential. But that's the type of thing I'll be looking for on GJ, to be honest, in this situation. Just don't trust the slow trickle up. You've got a potential pause play, I suppose, as well, interruption play for a buy limit order, 194.80, which is a psychological number as well. However, to be honest, I just rather let price dictate, let the buyers or sellers come in, make this thing move a little bit, give us some sort of clear direction, and then look to pick up the pieces. So the focus for me will be on gold. And guys, let's have a good one. Been a cracking week. What a start to June. What a year it's been, in all honesty. Again, just a man following a plan, creating a simple way to trade based off rules. Nothing in between. It's really not that difficult. To my team, let me share with you a link. So like I always say, guys, I have no control over when my plan will present, or if I'll be on the charts or not for it when it presents. It may present on the stream. It may present before or after the stream. This week, it's been 1 on stream and 3 away from the stream. But every single time I take a trade, I do document it and call it in the group. It's not a signal service, but I do every single time. Some weeks I'm taking 5, 6 trades, 7 trades. Some weeks I'm taking 1 or 2 trades. That's just how I trade. But every single one, mark my word, goes into the group. So yesterday after the stream, took a cracking win on GJ. That was absolutely phenomenal, that win. That literally tagged me in It waited around the entry for about 2-3 seconds, and then it just popped straight up to about 15 pip profit, something like that. And that was a really, really nice entry. That was called yesterday pre-MY. The day before we had a pre-MY call as well, win on GJ. So for those who ask, do I provide signals? No, I don't, but I do call every single trade that I take. Barman, give a like. Yep, appreciate it.
Morning, bro.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
All good, thanks. You?
Oh, very good, mate. Really good. Good start to the day. Fantastic start to the month. So.
Yeah, that looked like a quick trade on gold this morning.
Yeah, it was a really nice quick win. Again, that's why I love trading gold. It literally was about a 2-minute thing, 2-minute trade. Tagged in, had about 5 pip drawdown upon being tagged in, popped up a little bit and then just melted. That was a nice trade, mate. Getting tempted to trade gold again?
Beautiful. Those are the best.
Sorry, man.
Not really.
No. Okay.
Not really. No, I'm just gonna stick with GJ at the moment.
How was that? That trade yesterday was a cracker as well.
Oh yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Up here.
Yeah.
Not looking great today, GJ.
No, no.
It's a slow. I don't like these slow trickles. I'd rather wait for the volume to come in. But you look at the M30 and think, oh, GJ's just must have been an easy trade. If you bought it from above this resistance, but then you look at the 15 and it's just shitty price action. Bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. The candles don't have much volume as well. They're pretty shallow body candles, so it's just a slow trickle up. So that's the thing. As soon as the volume comes in, a lot of the time in this situation, it ends up just waterfalling. Or, I mean, in this case, it could pump, but I'd rather be second to the race and let's see what it does.
Yeah, agreed. I'm happy not being in a trade that looks like that.
Yep. Our friend Hikes says gold's got double top 33.90, now it's over. It's over on gold, is it, my friend? Look, you're allowed your opinion, so each their own, but for me, if gold gets down to $1,200, I swear I will sell everything I own and just buy as much as I can. Xauusd I 33.59, is that realistic? 59, that you're talking about that level there, it's realistic. 33.52 is realistic as well. Narendra, g'day to you. Najenga, g'day to you. Hamza, Skull, bullish or bearish? It's still bullish, but I do see options to sell it. I've already taken one sell for a win. And now I'm just waiting to see how price reacts. If we do pull back to that 33.685 roughly, 33.67, 70. I want to see how price reacts to those levels. Car music's too loud, is it? turned it down a lot, actually. My sound is very low. Oh man, how about that? Fuck's sake. I was on mute, YouTube. I swear I unmuted myself. I must have accidentally muted up again. Do apologize, sorry guys. Fuck's sake. Live streaming. There you go, that's how you can tell it's live. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're human. TikTok got it. Franco, better. Yep. Carl, we could hear you now. You're loud and proud. Coming out, are you saying? Nah, never. Walk a straight line, my friend. Always and forever. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but still. Yusuf, should we buy now? If it's in your plan and you have a valid reason, buy now, you buy now. For me, if you're asking what I'm personally doing, no, I'm not buying now. Got a level. Basically, on TikTok, you guys can follow it by just looking at the horizontals, where I've got these white horizontals as to levels I'd like to get involved. Obviously, to the upside is where our preference to buy, and to the downsides where a preference to sell if price did react and reject that level. Full screen you do have on YouTube. On TikTok, it's only, I cut out the numbers because of obviously I don't want to get any bans. I think it's just to do with their restrictions. They're a lot stricter on it than YouTube, so smash that screen for us too, guys, please. Gold trader 33 72.50 is my first sale level. 72.50. Okay, so it's a bit different to mine. All good. Yusuf, again, I just said it, man. Up to you. I don't have an entry right now. I'm not just going to say, okay, let's just buy it because for the sake of it, if I don't have a valid entry. What a mess. GJ.
How many viewers do you get on TikTok these days?
Today is not many, actually, compared to normal. Last few days consistently over 150, but today's only 40 something. Probably got sick of it because I haven't taken a trade for the last 2 days. That's just how people are. But Joseph, my win rate, how often do you take trades? Again, it just depends how often. When I'm on the charts, my plan and my rules are ticked off, because I only execute if that is to be the case. So it could happen sometimes 6-7 times a week while I'm on the chart. Sometimes it happens once or twice a week. I have no idea. It's not like it's a set, you know, I have to trade 5 to 10 times or 20 times a week. Win rate is well over 80%. Well over 80%. That's because I have enormous discipline when it comes to training and patience. A lot greater than the average person, to be honest. Again, I don't feel a need to trade. I wait for the chart to prove to me why I should take a trade. So this week I've taken 4 trades, 4 wins.
Yeah, London session actually hasn't been that good. All of them have come after the main London session, just before New York, really, haven't they?
Yeah, this week. Yep. A lot of times when I'm off making dinner again, That's when I see one of you guys post something into the chat and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's an option. It happened yesterday on, was it gold? I think
Yeah, both, I think.
Yeah, I'm not.
It was GG.
Yeah, I think Sam took a
Oh no, it was at the
gold trade,
Yeah.
which was really nice. But I wasn't on chart for. I was off making dinner. GT PM, you took sells, right? Earlier, yes. Yeah, just there. Joseph, all good, mate. Not a problem. Mark's still working on my discipline, hoping starting journaling helps that. Yeah, journaling should help that. There's a few reasons as to why it will help that. One is because if you are strictly journaling and you are journaling after each and every trade, it takes a bit of time. So it's going to stop you from trying to jump back into a trade if it was a loss, or if you exited and you see it continuing your direction, you want to get back in. So it's going to stop you in that respect because it's going to take a bit of time to do so. What it also will do is it will start to help you identify some strengths and perhaps weaknesses. And then off the back of that, you're going to be able to see that perhaps waiting for a closure above a resistance or below a support, as opposed to trying to take the impulse entries against the breaker resistance or support, is of high probability. You're going to work out that maybe that's an 80% win rate, whereas the impulse entry is about 40 or 50. And then you're going to start to then be able to identify that. And then you're going to start to stick to the plan of maybe waiting for that counter close, waiting for the confirmation. It's going to help a lot with the discipline in that, because it's going to identify what works for you and what maybe doesn't. So that's why it's so important. I cannot stress it enough. Like I said, every trade I take is journaled. The trades I call in the trade ideas section, I don't add it to my journal because it's all here anyway. So it's still journaled for everyone to see. Every other trade taken either on the MI call or on this stream goes into, where is it? Yeah, my trade journal section. And I clip a short video explaining why I took it, and sending the screenshot, confluences, and my thought process behind it all. So it's all journaled, and it's a good way for my guys to learn, as to why I took a trade, what gave it the, what gave me the confirmation, what made it valid. So right now, GJ, I can see it moving, but again, I just don't. This is what I want to see. I want it to actually bring in the volume a bit, and I could still potentially trade it to the upside. In this situation, the more probable thing I could look for is a little pause on a 15 followed by the engulfing continuation candle, and perhaps off the back of that I could look for a buy limit interruption entry. So that's something I could look out for in this situation, because I don't trust the continuation buys at the minute, and I'm still not opposed to selling GJ as well if it does begin to trigger in sellers and begin to reject. But this is a bit better. That is picking up the volume. GGPM, did you not concern about the level to the left? That support? What level? Support's here. That's the most recent support. We've wiped through that. All this to the left. No concern. As long as I have the right trigger within price action, the right signals, doesn't mean it can't bounce off that. But once again, I'm taking a trade based off the belief if I'm following my signals within price action, it's likely going to give me enough to get to TP1 on most occasions, on 80+% of the time. So I'm just reacting to that. I'm not concerned by price action from 15 weeks ago to the left or whatever. I couldn't care less by that. I'm focused on what's in front of me, what's below us, what is most immediate to the left, and what signal I've got. That should be your focus. Joseph, do you take trade only during streams? No. Well, mate, this week 3 trades have been taken away from stream. All called out once again in the group. Mark, exactly that. I think most of my entries are impulse rather than confirmation. Well, there you go. Journaling will help you identify, you know, that maybe that's a weakness of yours. And then what's your strategy based on? So based on price action at predetermined levels on the chart, based on zones on the 15, 30, and even the 4 hour, I determine bias by looking at the high time frame picture down to the lower time frame. And that's pretty much it. It's all price action catalyst, price action signals. There's no indicators, there's no fair value gaps or smart money concepts or any of that stuff. I do what works for me. Yeah, Mark, pretty much correct, but it's more to it than that. There's a lot more to it than just support resistance.
I don't know if you just said that you seem to be reacting to that. The left zone on the 15, not on the 30.
Yeah, just here. Yeah, you need a really strong closure here low to the downside. So catalyst right now would be the bearish engulfing M15. And that will close the 30 back. That it's low, basically. That's the rule right now for me. Very simple. Nothing in between. Absolutely nothing in between. In this situation, because we've been a pretty steady move to the upside, albeit a very slow trickle, in order for me to trust any sells, we have now approached a level here to the left. I want a few things to happen. I want us to pop back below that level. I want us to close back a 30-minute candle bearish. And I want within it the 15 to close bearish engulfing. If we do have all that ticked off, then there is a sell entry on GJ. If not, no entry. Very simple. That's how you make trading easy. Once you know that type of catalyst is a high probability, if you are just to wait and have it ticked off, that's when trading becomes a pleasure. And it doesn't mean you're always going to win, but there's a really good chance you will if you just stick to the plan. The other thing you need to measure is what sort of margin is there. GJ, it's not great, to be honest. You'd be lucky to squeeze out 10 pips. That's a concern. Anyway, we'll see how it closes. Ollie won. Did you have a prop firm? I did, but I had a bad experience. Had the account taken away from me when I was due a payout. I was going to take him to court, but it's just not going to be asked. It's just too much of a pain in the ass. Big account too, and that was, yeah, about almost, it was over 5k Australian dollars basically lost on some bullshit parameter, which they said I was looking into, and in the meantime I couldn't access my account and had a 30-day hard breach, and I was right when I was due a payout. Pricks.
Also probably worth saying that it wasn't one of the big ones, was it? One of the
Nah.
reliable ones.
Nah. Look, I took it off the back of a good source, and to be honest, it was a good thing until they changed ownership. And they happened to change ownership just before I was due a payout, and that's when this very weird parameter popped up on my dashboard, which is not anywhere in the rules, or was not any, it's still not in there when I checked it like a month or so ago. And they admitted that it was their mistake. Then they said no, it was my mistake. Then they said no, it's their mistake, they're fixing it. In the meantime, I got locked out of my account. That's what happened. 30 days, could not log into my MetaTrader. Just kept saying cannot find server, or cannot connect to server. Exotic the Stoke. Are you from Australia? Yes, mate. All right, GJ popping up. That's all right, to be honest. It's probably better if it does push up a little bit further and then potentially reject. Because then we've got more margin to take a sell. Are you shorting? Yes. Not doing anything at the minute. Just waiting. Could be looking for a long here on gold as well if it closes above resistance. Ollie one at stage now. Been doing 15% for 6 months after 2 years starting on YouTube. Nice one. Well done. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Getting over that dreaded heat cold that every single person in Australia's had. It's uncanny. I swear to God, there's some shit going on here. Saw someone actually mention on TikTok, it's like literally everyone's got a cold here in Australia at the minute. It's a really strange, it's just affects the sinuses basically. From the throat up. So what a good one. Almost over it though. Do they tax profits? Yes, they do. Of course they do. But look, I'm not saying avoid taxes, but I've been looking into ways where you could perhaps get away with a few things. Tax just steals from the people, because the reason why I say it, thank you Ben for the sticker, is because what it's supposed to go to, why we pay taxes, is for things like utilities, roads, hospitals, whatever. When you look at the fine print, what most of it actually goes to, it goes to corporations. What do you think who those corporations are? Who are shareholders of those corporations? Take one guess. Give you guys one guess. Who do you think are shareholders of most of those corporations? Who get the contracts to do all this crap that's not necessary? Fixed roads that have just been fixed to, you know, a year ago or something. Who gets the contracts for that? People in the government basically are shareholders. Do the research, guys. That's why they steal from our pocket and then they put it back into theirs. It's such a scam, in all honesty. Might get a strike on the YouTube stream, not sure. Hey Izzy, what's up bro? Starting work a little. Oh, nice one brother, hope you're well. See me outside chat. Paul, not me. Oh, okay, in regards to tax. S hoping goes down to 33.50. Ollie one, all good. Recommended micros to do on a funded. Micros? Just depending on what how big of an account you're going for. Yeah, true. There is no hope. You just have to react to what's in front of you. Ollie one, remember Packer's tax quote? Not quite, but you might be able to let me know. I can't remember it. Exotic the stoic. Bro, please tell me how I can avoid paying for my Forex tax. How do I do it? Yeah, I'm not going into that. I don't want to get any trouble. None of this is financial advice. I'm not saying I avoid it. I just don't agree with what I have to pay. Just so it goes back into Albert Sleazy's pocket again and he's drop kicked mates. Guy can't even speak English properly. Alright, not a bad closure. Would have been nicer if it closed a little stronger up near the high of the resistance. If that was the case, there could have been perhaps a impulse entry. What would have validated that is simple rule yet again, guys. For me to take an impulse entry, the catalyst candle has to close, mark in the zone, from the low to the high, has to close above the 50% level. That would suggest it's a very strong candle closure. That would suggest the momentum is to the upside. That would suggest if the new candle creates a lower wick, whether it be after it pops up first or if it pops down to begin and begin to break the resistance, there'd be a high probability of it being enough to, give you enough to secure some profits. But that did not tick the box. So once again, trading based on rules, the minute there is no entry. But we'll wait and see. Paul? Oh, getting crook. Swear so many people have. In Melbourne anyway. Carl F. Mr. J goes missing. He did not run away or hurt himself. No, exactly. You guys know exactly what happened. Just rewatch this stream if it's not taken down. Joseph, what I get when I join VIP, I will get signals, or how can I trade your trades? You don't get signals, mate. As I mentioned, if I will call trades, yes, but only if I'm on the chart. I'm not sitting there for 8 to 10 hours a day hunting trades. That's not what I do. Every trade I take, I will call in that group, whether it be during the Asian session, during the London session, during pre-MY, whatever it is. What you get is more than 100 videos of content. There is so much freaking content on there. There's a full course which took me 15 months to put together. It's over 140 pages, includes screenshots, includes videos, short form videos. That's a good thing. None of the videos go for really any longer than about 8 minutes, 7 minutes. Unless it's some of the education calls, the ones that are recorded, some of those go for a little longer. But you get enough to give you the best chance of going forward, taking away all that information, putting it together, trialing it for a bit of time. So that's the issue. Some people come in a group, I don't know what they expect. They expect miracles after a month. It takes time. It takes time to understand things. It takes time to recognize things on the chart. But trust me, if you actually have the patience to properly commit to it, learn it, go over the videos, go over the content multiple times, ask questions. I always say, my guys, ask me questions. Why aren't people asking me questions? You want to know how I trade? Pick my brain. Don't just sit there in silence. Yes, you got a lot of content to get through, but you should also have many questions to ask me. That's how you're going to progress. And I guarantee if you do all that, you've got a really good chance of being a decent, competent trader. Archer, it's worth it, bro. Believe me. Thank you, mate. You're going to learn a lot, and Justin always helps. Appreciate it. How looks your trade calls? Again, it's not set up in like a signal service, mate. This is like, for instance, before the stream. Potential gold sells next candle, closes at least 10 pips below. Interruption, sell limit, sells will be valid. Otherwise, sells below, counts low. It's also valid if we close strong below the support. And then I put await the upper wick. I've got a sell stop in 33, 64, 61. Stop loss above previous M15. Triggered. Just stop loss to current candle, stop loss to break even, and what I'm doing. That's it. But a lot of the time the trades are called on the MI call as well. Or if I, obviously if it presents. That's how I do it, mate. Let's see, gold rejecting. So this is all right. What we want to see here, what would give me a catalyst signal will be, so I'm looking at the 30 minutes close strong bullish. So if I was to base it off the 30, bearish engulfing. And then we got a catalyst. Still got clean room, clean candles to the downside. Otherwise, if this 15 closes strong bearish engulfing, we still got that wick though. If this 15 closes pretty much where it's at, and then with in the 30 on the following M15, we create that minor pause. With 4 minor support back below the resistance. If price was to break that minor support on the following candle after creating a bit of an up wick, that would also be a valid entry. So long as you got the margin to this support. So wait and see. GJ, this is fine. No pause to look for the interruption play as well, but it's all good because now we'll have more margin to sell back down if it does begin to reject. JA 50k. 50k count. I don't know, what's the parameters on it? What's the allowed daily drawdown, floating drawdown? What's the total drawdown limits? I would stick to like 1.5, maybe 2% max a trade. And that will give you, you know, if you take, depending how often you're trading, for me, it's likely not going to be more than 2 or 3 times a day. So, you know, based off that, 1.5%. And that will keep you, you know, if you lose 3 trades, but I always manage trades, so I'll never take a full loss. That will keep you within the parameters. Exotic, the Stoke. PTY, Soul Trader. No, just a Soul Trader. But I'm working on something. Melbourne. To be honest, I don't. All I do is download the file and send it off to my accountant. They do the rest. That's all I do. We have a family accountant because I have a business as well in the background. Only one time observation of the rules. That is of vital importance. So make sure you are following your rules. Where can I buy gold? At your local coin dealer. So Jen, people just want a quick fix and to be told what to do. Too many don't want to learn, understand. And that's so true, mate. So true. And look, I can understand. I've been there. I've done that. By the way, where I can buy gold. I've got the level up here. I was just taking a piss, obviously. But you could buy a coin deal. So Stoke takes time. Psychology will take years. It took me probably best part of 3 years.
Hey, good morning, Justin.
How are you, brother?
Thank you. I'm fine. And you?
All good, mate. All good.
You're already successful this morning.
Yeah, nice trade. Called out in the group. Knows a lot of you are probably still getting out of bed, apart from the Aussie guys. But about yourself?
Yeah. I was there, but I didn't take it because
Okay.
I didn't see it. This was one point, and the other point is because it's also not my time to trade.
Yeah, fair enough.
And therefore I didn't took it, but it was very good what I have seen.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's a quick one. That's how I like it when it comes to gold.
So you are done more or less for the day.
Oh no, look, I'm still happy to see if something presents here on the stream.
Mhm.
But again, I can be picky. I'm always picky anyway.
Yeah, looking, and for sure maybe also looking if you are on the right side.
Yep.
With your methods or not. Yeah.
Correct. So if it does present, I will look for it. But yeah, go on, mate.
Very good. I sent my geo analysis
Okay.
to the group. So, but it's nothing very special, as more or less like yesterday. So really wait to go down, taking sales and going up. But if you are achieving this H4 resistance, we need a clear move to the upside, because if you're looking to the left right now on H4,
Oh, okay.
so or on the M30 candle, so there is not really a clear traffic to the
No.
left side. So we need to first create a good traffic to the left side,
Yeah.
and then maybe creating support, and then maybe head up again. So it takes time.
Yeah, I agree.
Taking buys above the resistance. So right now it's
So-
coming down.
Yep.
I don't know what you see. Did you also see the two cells below?
I'd incorporate that low because lowest point of the M15. Well, structure's going to flip below that point, so yeah, cells below that point would be valid upon the closure below, obviously. So that's something I would consider because you've now got that higher high. I think yesterday we still not confirmed the higher high.
Correct.
We've finally got that, so now structure will flip below that point there. So I'd be looking for the pullback by, as long as we're above it. I'd be waiting for my catalyst. It's so long as it makes that clear move now, but otherwise, like you said, it's very, very choppy to the upside, so it's not easy trying to get back above this support. And if that's the case, then I'd be the exact same as you. I'd rather let it create the clean move, cut through that traffic to the left, and if it does reject, possibly look for a sell from a point of rejection. Otherwise, let it come back down, clean move, and then you can start trading this range again. Yep, I agree. Bit of a wait on GU by the looks of things.
Yeah, it's good
Are
to
you
have a
similar?
plan at the end, Justin.
Yeah,
because,
correct.
So as you all the time say, so you need to wait until the price is coming to you. So, and that's the point. And if you market your structure and you are feeling more better, so because then
Correct.
you get away from this impulse trade and FOMO trades and so on and so on. This helps a lot.
100%. 100%. Once you realize that, you just need to follow your plan. There's nothing wrong with seeing some alerts if you've got things to do, whatever. And if, as long as you've done your analysis and you're still willing to take a trade, but as long as it's at a decent time of day. So I wouldn't say if it happened at 6 a.m. my time, which is the dead zone between NY close and Sydney Open. That I don't, no way would I take it. But yeah, like as long as it ticks the box. But otherwise, I just wouldn't bother for the sake of it in between taking any rubbish. And we learned the hard way.
And also to be clear, so even if I mark the charts, so for sure, as I have also losses, so it's not that I'm winning all the time.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed.
That's also clear, but you have to have then risk management, and then you are feeling good. So if you are closing how you expected, and so on, so everything is okay. So for me this week, I have 2 wins and 2 losses. So I'm pretty okay with that.
Yeah, and you manage those losses very, very well.
Correct.
Nice one.
Are you getting better with your
Yeah,
health?
still
Yeah?
still a little bit congested, but
Okay.
a lot better. Thank you, mate. TikTok, thank you to new followers, by the way. Lucky the Explorer. So for Sharon, I have listened a lot, but just shared it is on YouTube. I took with the best chat TikTok. I have no idea what you mean by that. This was with the spell. What are you on about, my friend? Best learning me loot, best screen YouTube, use TV, best chat is TikTok. Hikes last time was that level was 2022. What level is Hikes on about now? He 1200 before. Johnny J visuals, yes, right now it is pretty messy. Price action. Beyond best screen is YouTube. As far as, yeah, you get the full screen for sure. I think he means the screen is better viewed on YouTube, but the chat is better here. Yeah. So now I've just got everyone jumping across onto YouTube. Or maybe not, there's no one on YouTube. I don't get any love on YouTube, I don't know why. I used to get like around 90, 70 to 100. And it's just dying.
YouTube's for old people nowadays, isn't it? Like us.
Say again?
YouTube's for old people like us, isn't it? TikTok's for all the youngsters. That's probably why.
Yeah, probably. I didn't even know.
It feels like fewer people are trading now than they were, say, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, during COVID and that.
Didn't it? But I don't feel like it's really sustained.
Yeah, cause the reason is because people give up. They give up way too quickly, I feel. I almost gave up. I'm not gonna lie. Almost gave up probably about 4 or 5 years ago. About 5 years ago. Giving up's the easy way out. Giving up to admitting defeat. I like to admit defeat. Marking that support now as well. So that's likely our next potential entry point to the downside, unless we once again reject that 3370 level. What do you think of CLBR? No idea, Danny, what it is, to be honest. Ollie, one grateful, that's so true. Video on the bottom of the
Justin.
yeah, mate.
I want to give maybe some hint to the German 40. I'm willing to take a sell on the break of the previous M50 candle.
Okay, yep. Looks pretty good. You've got a liquidity candle here on a 30 as well. And also on that previous 15. Closed bearish engulfing, broke the high, broke the low, closed below the low. You're below support as well. You're into some pretty clean traffic by the looks of it. So if it did break, I think it's a good chance. It's a pretty high probability entry. Was it stop loss above what, the previous or the entry?
No, above the previous.
4 hour will be breaking its own low as well. Pretty much, so. At a resistance on a higher time frame. Still pondering, should I watch it a bit, but less is more. Alex, Goldbro, yeah, looking at it. Want buyers above the resistance, sells below it, maybe sells upon rejection of 33.70. TKG detailing, do you think it's setting up for a reversal to the top side? Again, what I think and what happens is, I mean, who knows, could do anything. I'm just going to sit here and react to what I see happening, and if it does pop above this resistance, then yes, I think there is a good chance it could reverse or at least make a deeper pullback. Off the back of that, I will look for an option to buy it. So for that to be valid, it has to close above this 33.70, tap in, and then I can look for a buy to take it back up towards 33.75. All good, mate. Not a problem. Bitcoin up to making a bit of a pullback. All right, interesting. But a lot of people calling for it to come back down towards 92k. Oh, let me look at something. It really, it's got very strong support just above the 100k though. That's going to be an issue. If it is to remain bullish, then it's likely going to respect that level. But if it does break it, then yes, 92k is definitely on the cards. Definitely on the cards. If that's the case, have some dry powder ready for some altcoins if tickles your fancy. The tank sell? Not yet. Could be a buy.
GJ looks like we might actually get a bearish 15-minute candle.
Closing at 30?
Might even get a bearish 30.
Yeah. If you get the bearish 30. And the thing is, now you got margin. Now there's margin. So GJ could provide some potential sell options at London Open, or are we just pulling back to grab some liquidity before we head back down? So I'd want it to close close to its low, preferably engulfing on the M15, sorry. Preferably.
Would you wait for the
tapped into there.
force as well?
I don't, to be honest, London Open, I don't think it's going to give you that option.
No.
But also, you'd really love for it to close bearish engulfing in the 15, because that would be a really strong suggestion that maybe the sellers are finally stepping back in now. Without it, it could be maybe just a pause, because the trend at the minute is to the upside. It's the first candle in quite some time.
Yeah, I feel like
close back bearish.
It's only valid if it's bearish engulfing.
Yeah. That would be a solid entry, because that totally wipes out the buyers. And that would suggest to me that the sellers are in control. As long as it's going up a wick, I would be prepared to take a sell off the back of that. So yeah, definitely the better option is the engulfing play. It's tapped into these wicks to the left. That's about it. But the one concern is that without that engulfing bearish M15, which would again wipe out the buyers from that previous candle, what this could just be is a bit of a pause, and then perhaps we could have the interruption play set up if the next candle was to close strong bullish engulfing. Gonna have the buy limit valid. So we'll see in 5 minutes. Closes bearish engulfing, it's valid. And if not, maybe it's just going to be a pause. a weak bearish closure. You know, I don't know if I really trust the continuation buy just yet. Morning from UK. Morning to you. Good evening from Melbourne, from Australia. So your the tank sell 33.63 is your prediction. Fair enough. It's a little higher up than where I'm looking to sell it from. Yeah. Otherwise, well, I could sell it from higher up too. But I mean, if you're looking for continuation sells. Fred Durst, the candle's green, just buy. Only when that's simple. Her said, I doubt it will hit TP, been on that for 48 hours now. But I hit TP just this morning and it was 33.65. Well done, mate. Newton, see a buy on gold. Okay. G-Man, you was 30. 30. Got 3 minutes. I'll quickly look at it. Hold on, what's GJ doing? Alright, let's set an alert just in case. Set an alert for there. Gold, nothing at the minute. So let's look at the 30. That was it from yesterday? Alright, weekly. Strong bullish candle. Very strong level of resistance, so it's rejecting. We did close back a bearish candle. Marking the current daily high and low. Got a lower high, lower low. If it was to continue bearish, not much need to pop back up, break its own high. At the lows, likely going to be some minor support. If we break it, likely price can make a nice clean move down. 4-hour structure is bullish. Or is it? No, it's actually, yeah, it is. Or is it? No, it's actually bearish. To be really technical about it, it's actually bearish. Marking that as support. Marking this as resistance. And what I'd be doing is just waiting for it to close. Very simple. Wait for your catalyst either side of this level. Closure above, retest continuation, closure below, retest continuation. Exactly what I'd be doing. Whilst it's consolidating, there's no entries, I wouldn't try to be the first to the move. And if it just so happens to melt, you need to let it reset. If it so happens to pump, you need to let it reset. Because when it's coming from consolidation, it's just very risky, because many candles would attempt to break, but they continue to reject and straight back into consolidation. So the best thing to do is just wait for a confirmation, closure either side, and then look to pick up the pieces off the back of that. That's what I'd be doing. Okay, LSS, can you quickly explain how you mark your zones? Is it wicks that creates the swing? Yes, it is the wicks, mate. So we're going to start the 4-hour. They're the gray zones. I often remove them because they're far away from current price action. But if they're not, I'll keep it in. Then I'll go down to the 30. So the most recent resistance is the highest point of it's this area, this candle here. So I'll just use that. I know we've got these candles to the left. From the highest point of any bearish candle to the open, it doesn't have to be always the same candle. It could be a bearish candle which has a slightly lower high, but the body's a little bit higher up than the candle that actually has the highest point. And to downside, the lowest point of any bullish candle. So for instance here, the lowest closure is this bullish candle, but the lowest point is from this bullish candle. So that makes up my zone, and often what you see is price will tap into these levels and react. Happens very often. Remove that alert. GJ's not valid, guys. No entry, but the pause play could set up now. Looking a bit better for a cheeky buy. lower wick, if it breaks the high, seeing you've got a bit of volume coming in. But the better option, because it does kind of look like we're potentially exhausting here, is to wait for the engulfing interruption play. So closure above and then look for a limit buy order on GJ. Gold just in the middle of this range. We'll keep it on gold for the time being.
Didn't play out myself, so it's went to the upside.
Oh, okay, you didn't get the chance? Yep, yeah. Fair enough.
It was good to wait until we broke.
Yep.
We broke, no entry.
Fatih, GU? Yeah, so we looked at it before. So it's bullish so long as it remains above this swing point here on the M30. So I'd rather look for buys, but the issue is just it's very choppy price action, so it really needs to make a clean move and respect this 135, 350, 320 sort of region, and then look for a catalyst. Otherwise, it needs to make a clean move to cut through the mess, pull back, and you can potentially look for buys or sells upon the confirmation of the M30 structure flipping bearish below 135, 316. KLSS, all good. Listen, I doubt it'll hit TP. Oh, sorry, I read that. The Christiana GJ, it's a buy. Yeah, it's potentially a buy on continuation here. You've got a weak pause. That's the only option I see at the minute. The buy above the high of that candle. So you've had a bit of an impulse. You've got a weak pause here. So if price was to begin to break the high of that candle with clean trap to the left, there's a good chance it could continue to the upside. That is your only option at the minute, in my opinion. What else have we got though? Still not ruling out sells. See you earlier. Please give an update. Abe, I don't understand how it's going right now. Abe. That's a crypto, isn't it? Just follow Bitcoin. That's what it's doing. No, I don't trade these altcoins, mate. I'm a short-term trader as well. So looking at high time frames, I think it's more of a sell just based on where it's at. It's at a high time frame resistance. It's respected multiple times. Not only that, you've got a long candle on the previous long wick on the previous daily, closing back bearish. Current candles lower high, lower low. So off the back of that, I think there's a high probability of it potentially making a bit of a move back to the downside. So I'd be favoring the sells off the back of that. That's the best I can do. I don't trade the crypto, mate. So look at Bitcoin. That's pretty much it. All right, gold. Volume is pumping in just here. We need the strong closure above, and then we could have a valid entry. Ollie 1 body sells story. Yep, when it comes to candles, residual just come out this buy. Fuming was in from 193, 396. Don't be fuming, mate. You've taken a win. Don't let your emotions get the better of you when it comes to trading. Accept the fact that you've exited the trade, and now you move on, reassess. Yeah, I don't really like the buys at the minute, to be honest, because the way it continues to reject, I still would not surprise if it does actually now begin to waterfall. But again, off the back of that, I can't take it. I need to wait for a confirmation. I need for the 30s to close now. And gold could provide an option. Gold looks like it could potentially be sending up. We've got to wait just over 9 minutes for the confirmation, but we could have that soon. Ren EU, had a look at it briefly just before. Similar to GU at the minute. I prefer the buys. You don't have a zone here. Kind of forced to use the bearish counter lows. Yeah, I prefer the buys, but I'd rather it come back down. Open up the margin a bit, because right now you're buying it into resistance. Maybe the next potential entry point will be above 114, 220. All eyes on gold though, guys. 8.5 minutes, roughly.
Justin.
Yeah, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
All good, mate.
Just a quick question. So, through the course at the moment, we're looking a lot into the M30 candles. How do you know when to start looking at the M15?
Well, more so on gold. More gold, you can pretty much look for the M15. It all depends too, because if we're looking for, let's just say, a buy in a previous M30 was a really strong, or if we're looking for a buy from support, for instance, and we've had a really strong move to the downside, that's when you preference a 30-minute closure. And that's when you want to see, you know, like a catalyst maybe within it. If it's not a bullish engulfing, then you're going to see what's going on within it in the 15. Maybe you've got a bullish M15 engulfing, or the minor resistance break of that. If it's just in a bit of a range and it's not, you know, it's not trending or anything like that, then you can trust the 15 more. A confirmation on it, like for instance, in this case, a closure above or below. But if we're coming, if we're coming with steam, like for instance, this resistance, we want to sell it, then you're going to have to wait for that 30-minute closure, and you're going to have to see what's going on within it to sell it.
Alright, cheers.
Not a problem, mate. Good question. Gold approaching, but again, no impulse entries. We come from way, way too far. Ren, thank you for the sticker, by the way. Yo, gold. Steve, on gold, I'm able to match your top 2 zones, but I don't have the same level on the low end. The bullish candle, could you do... it could be due to a different broker, correct. A lot of time, that's what it is. Alex, if the gold hit the support zone, we can enter it in sell. It has to close below it. Like for instance here, gold's broken above the resistance. Doesn't mean I just buy it. I need confirmation now. And there's a few potential entries here. If it closes significantly above, I can look for the limit order zone to zone play. If it closes just a little bit above, I can look for a continuation buy of what will be the catalyst. Aubrey, could you explain what you're doing to a beginner? I could explain how to go about things to a beginner, but I mean, probably not the best time to go into all that. There's a lot to it. Basically, at the minute though, I'm just waiting to make it as simple as possible. I've got this blue zone in. That zone is an area of resistance. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the week, if we break through the resistance, it's kind of like a ceiling, and then we tap back into it in the following candle. So we're breaking through it, but I'm not jumping in just yet. I'm waiting for this candle to close. If you're on the YouTube stream, you can see here to the left, there's about 5 and a bit minutes left of the current candle. So I'm waiting for it to close, and as soon as it closes, what I want to see is the next candle to pull back, retest this resistance, and begin to pull away from it. As soon as it does, I'm going to look to buy it as it begins to break the catalyst candles high. Now the issue is if it pops up too far, we move too deep into the range above, I may not have the margin, but I may have an option on a potential limit order. So a limit order is when, if it's a buy limit, you're setting an order on your broker to be triggered in at a lower price to what the current market price is. So you're setting it to be triggered in anticipation price will tap into this level, bounce off it, and continue bullish. So that's as simple as I could probably break it down just now. Hopefully it made sense. So we're keeping an eye on gold here for a potential limit order just now. In just over 4 minutes. I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys. So just over 2.5 minutes, guys. Potential limit orders. So we want this counter close at least 10 pips above. That is the general rule for the limit order. So let's just mark that in. By the way, if you saw a door on YouTube fly open and saw no one walk in, it wasn't a ghost. It was a dog. Quickly broke into the room when I went for a quick toilet break. Alright, so that will validate and limit order. Now, what would stop loss be though? Yeah, around 50. That's quite stock standard for gold. Oh, GJ limit orders as well. So GJ for there to be valid limit order, and you've got a liquidity candle here. Broke the lows, now broken high. If it closes above, so GJ is about 5 to 6 pips. So what's that? That's around 95.10. Hold on. No, it's not. That's off that. 194. $11. Oops. So that's where JJ, wow, look at that. That's popped straight up. Alright, so keep an eye on gold. Who gets range of resistance was priceless. Fish bait. Better set it up in mind. $33.70.02. Alright, it may not close above GJ. So GJ could be valid, guys. Gold may not be. Or will it? Oh, it's right on it. All right, gold's valid. But this candle has to begin to melt pretty quickly. All right, so gold's valid on a limit order. Oops. But it can't push too far now to the upside. It has to reject very quickly. GJ's broken. Damn. Yeah, GJ had to drop pretty much straight away as well, but it's popped straight up, so it's not really an option at the minute. But gold is valid. It's closed right at that level. It can't do this. It can't continue to pop up. Bradley, what's your next order going to be, buy or sell? Well, I've got a buy order in, but I may be removing it very shortly. Gold resisting key level. Yeah, gold's pushing. Alright. Yeah, sort of buy limit's it's no longer valid. It's pushing too far. The continuation buy, forget it, because you got no margin and you don't have the stop loss is way too wide. What the hell is going on with IC markets? Why is it saying request cancelling? That's really strange. Alright, so it's not valid anymore, guys. For fuck's sake. Why is it so delayed? Alright, so gold, now it's a matter of the next resistance. So, didn't want to get in the impulse because we come from way too far back. Wanted to get in on the new candle crank slow wick and it's just not done that. So, nothing I can do about that. Now, it all comes down to the next level here. 33.75.50, buys above. Tell you what, I see markets, they did an update earlier this week, and ever since, my chart's been really, I mean, my MetaTrade's been really sketchy. Not sure if anyone else has had a similar issue with IC markets this week. It's only this week though. Five-minute count was no lower wick, no upper wick. There, it's a bit tricky. Oh, there's a 30-minute bullish high. Tomato kicked. Yours seems very choppy. I see markets as well, or LJ gifts and surprises. My meta trading keeps glitching out, stopping and then refreshing. No, it's not normal, and that's what. I mean, mine's not doing that, but I just removed the buy limit order because it was no longer valid, and it said requesting canceling, which I've never had that happen. Before, when I was in the trade, I called in the members group. I move, as I always do, I move my stop loss to entry after getting into a decent amount of profit and starting to secure profits. And I know when it popped back up, it didn't trigger out the runner, but luckily enough, I saw it and I quickly pressed the X as a pop back down into like a pip or two profit on the runner, which was lucky because it ended up popping back up again. So something is not right with it at the minute. Not sure if anyone else has had that. I don't know if any of the members have had an issue with IC markets over the past day or two. Tomato kick IC markets. Yeah, it's strange, man. Maharan Antonio. Which time frame are you entering on? Mainly the 15 on gold, 30 on GJ. GJ's flipped. Tomato kick, gold been moving pretty smooth this week. Yeah, it's been okay. I mean, I've traded it twice for 2 wins, traded GJ twice. First time in quite a while actually for 2 wins as well. This is better on GU. This is exactly what you want to see. Bjorn had something weird happening here too. Oh, really? What's up with MetaTrader? Unless it's a issue with MetaTrader. Tomato kicked. It is and it isn't, if that makes sense, because I trade the exact same session each day. If you're asking, do I solely rely on it? No, I don't. Which makes it, I think, it makes myself an even better trader, to be honest. Dawn had something. Oh yeah, read that. How do you determine daily bias? Daily bias, to be honest, because I'm a scalper, I'm more concerned by the candles themselves. So more so the previous daily and current, how it's forming against the previous. But otherwise, you mean the bias for the actual day? That's what you probably have just gone on. That's what you probably mean. So I start in the higher time frames, start the weekly, see the candles forming a very strong bullish candle. Look at the daily, see that we're forming a strong, well, previous day was strong bullish. The structure itself is bullish again. We'll look to that as well. We're more focused on the actual candles. Then I'll look to the 4 hour. You can see that's in an uptrend as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail how I determine whether it's bullish or bearish. You'll just have to watch the start of the streams. And same on the 30. I can see that's technically in an uptrend the way I see it. People are going to look at it thinking, no, it's not, it's create a low. But to me, that's not this is the level where it needs to close below to confirm a structure flip. That's the highest point the market got to. If not closed above it, this is the one big impulse to the upside. Therefore, so long as we remain above that level, or this pullback is insignificant in regards to the actual structure itself, and we are bullish. Maybe, you know, hence why it's making a decent move back up now, because it's actually with the structure. That's what you often find. And GJ, it's not formed any structure whatsoever in this whole move up. That's what still gives me the feeling that at some point in the sellers step in, it could waterfall. But again, I can't just trade off the back of that thinking, well, eventually it's going to waterfall, I'm just going to sell it. I need to wait for a confirmation. There is absolutely no structure at all to it at the minute. Let's hope Trump be pumping the market today. Could well do. The tank, I use MetaTrader 5. It's pretty much the same shit either way. All right, we can now, hold on. In a few minutes time, we can remove that zone, and the new range we're playing within is this one here from 33, basically 77 down to 33, 61, 61.50 roughly. SpongeBob, my bias, well, where we're currently at, I prefer for it to pop up a bit and look for a sell, but do whatever it wants to do. Oh, excuse me. Michael Vorster 4. I think gold made a low high. Within the actual structure itself, which is bullish. Yeah, it's creating low highs, low low. We could argue it's just create a high actually. On this time frame anyway, the 15. GJ. Just remove 4-hour zone for the time being. Ben, how can you trade with no bias? Who said I have no bias? My bias is bullish, but I'm prepared to sell it as well, depending on where price is at, and if I have the right catalyst to do so. I have a bias, but it's always good to be fluid in the markets. You don't be fixated to the bias. When I'm more fixated to the bias is especially on the Monday and Friday. I rather trade in line with the strength of the previous weekly candle. Often that weekly candle will be a good indication as to the overall bias, way I see things. I think too often people are too fixated by bias, and you sometimes ignore where price is at. If price is at a, for instance, a 4-hour resistance, but it's bullish, and you get a cracking signal to sell it, why would you not take the sell option? That's the question I'd ask you. Narendra, BTC, and gold, similar candles. Yeah, similar gold. BTC is in a little bit of a downtrend intraday anyway. Leon, good day to you, mate. Long time. Hope you're well. Leo, good to hear it, mate. So we've had the 30-minute closure here and we've closed above. We have tapped into a target here, so there is no limit order. Tapped into the 30-minute resistance. So now I can remove this zone. We've cut through it. Now we're going to be looking for the buys from back at the support. Or perhaps it sells from below the resistance, or maybe the buys above it, sells below. You'd be more active from now. Nice one, mate. Nice to have you back on the stream. Joe and Joe, 27. Yes, this is the gold. Fareed, more into you. Managed to catch gold buys 33.64 London Open. Nice one. See you on the other side of Discord later. Leon. Nice one, brother. You're more than welcome. Back to YouTube VIP also. Oh mate, wait till you see the VIP. It is unreal. With that course in there, everything else, it's just all the new sections as well. I mean, one section's a little bit annoying because it goes off every 2 seconds. That's the news feed section. But you can always mute it. I'd mute it. Not while I'm training live though, I have it on. That's why you probably hear it every 2 seconds in the background. Mark Stella's stepping in on GJ. Let me see. Is it rejecting? Is it? Yeah, maybe. It'd be nice for it to pop up though and reject to a level here. Possibly. The thing is, without tapping in, there's always the concern it could actually do so. So again, there's no structure to this at all. It's just been a straight shoot up. The only half decent entry was just there. Was waiting and watching gold at that point. Gold, unfortunately, obviously it did make the it did move and close above, but I didn't get my limit order entry because it never pulled back. For GJ buys in Asian session. It's been straight up and down, hasn't it? For the most part. Thank you to the 50 new followers on TikTok. Appreciate it, guys. For yesterday's news effects. So market open by on UJ. All right, still focused on gold. Again, guys, I can't help when the signal will present. This week, 3 times it's presented either side of the stream. But once again, every single one I do call out in my group. When it happens on stream, I'm more than happy to take it. Had a few trades set on the stream, but only to become invalid. And it's just, that's how I roll. Very strict, very disciplined. Stick to the rules all throughout. Don't give a shit if it's on stream or for the sake of taking a trade or whatever. I will never do that. Let's see if we can get a bearish candle here on gold on the 30. So there's one of two options now. If this candle closes, for instance, like so, then the option would be to wait for the next 15 to close bearish engulfing, and that's a signal. And what that's going to do is close the 30-minute also back bearish, and that will be, again, that's exactly what you want to see. The third tick is the fact that we've tapped in and rejected the 30-minute resistance, and if we'll be respecting the intraday structure at this point. So that's 3 ticks, and that's what at least I want to have prior to any entry. If it in fact flips just down, closes, for instance, like that bearish candle, then what I'll be looking for is perhaps a little bit of a weak pause on the next 15-minute candle. Bring that minor support. Once again, the 30-minute still going to close back a bearish candle. Off the back of that. So we'll have resistance forming at previous resistance here to the left. And then we can look to enter as the following candle creates an upper wick and begins to break. They're my options just now. And if it just continues bullish, unless we pop above 33.7750, not much I can do about it. Exactly, I know exactly what I want to see at this level right now in order to get involved in a trade. It all comes if you just have the patience and time to go through. I mean, talking more so to my guys here, the content gets to the point where you know exactly what you want to see in this sort of situation. For potential gold buyers, 33.68. Depending how price reacts to that point. Only one gold 4-hour BL fair value up is taken out, not only touch but trade whip through. Just see take out 33.92.18. No idea, mate. I don't trade fair value apps. You're not asking the right guy when it comes to that. It's pure price action, man. Pure price action at high levels. That's what it is. And you could say, but it hasn't quite tapped in here, but it has on the 30. I could just drag that down if I really want to. We have tapped in. Njenga, fly gold. VO10. Gold, yes, this is gold. O'Brien's got gold sell of 33.75. Nice one, you're looking good then. So have a trade management plan. Don't, you know, you're in profit at the minute, so you don't want to take a loss in that. And look, it just depends. If you're swing trading it, then you're obviously going to have a wider stop loss. If you're scalping it, you've got some decent profit. Only one, but yeah, wait. Yeah, that's fair enough. Look, I respect it. I just don't trade it. I don't know enough about fair value apps now. I've never bothered to look into it because I don't need to. V010, up or down? Well, I'm potentially waiting for a sell here, but I'm not jumping in without my confirmation. Will, good day, mate. Do you do this for work? If not, what else do you do? I have a business in the family we've had since I was a knee high to a grasshopper. And this is, yes, I do this as well. I have done it for a living. I could do it if I really wanted to. At the moment, the account size probably isn't enough for the lifestyle I like to lead. But it's definitely enough to, for the most part, for most people, and to see some significant returns. I will build that back up to the point where it is again. Enough to permanently live off it. But again, I find having something else to distract you in the background makes me a better trader as well, because I'm not forced to take a trade and I've still got income. So I'd say it's a good thing. People would say, oh, no, it's trader's life, baby, but nothing wrong with working a little bit on the side and doing something else, getting some cash for it. Takes the stress out of having a need to trade. Not for everyone. I mean, you could trade full time and be happy with that. I could do it and be happy with it, but I like to, you know, have a few options as well. Do spend a fair portion of time overseas normally. So obviously at that point I'm just trading full time. But due to some personal reasons, I'm not as often overseas anymore. But that will eventually start to happen again. Declan, do you trade funded? No, I don't know. Again, I've had the experience and got burnt by a scam account, a scam prop firm. Daniel, man, you agree? Yeah. Sure, you're being quite distracted, mate, of like with your new venture. So have a look at Dan's profile as well when you get a chance, guys. Some very interesting stuff on there. A lot of respect for it, man. Doing good things to try and help people who maybe at times don't, you know, stick their hand out and admit they might need it. Daniel, all good, man. It's true. All right, JJ's tapped in, so that's good. That is really good. We've tapped in. We've got no structure whatsoever, though. Let's pop straight up. So now this is where you want to see sellers step in and potentially provide a signal to sell it. All right, so first step on gold here. It's looking pretty good. You want it to close. Don't want to leave a long wick, that's for sure. And we want the next count to close weak bullish, and then we've got a big tick to take us off. O'Brien's, what time frame you watching, mate? Mainly the 15 here on gold. But at this rate, because we've had a strong approach to the resistance, I'm going to require a 30 minutes close back bearish, because one 15-minute candle won't cut it for me. Against that, the 30-minute overrides the 15 here. So I need to see a bit of a catalyst now within the 30 that closes back bearish, and that will be on the 15-minute time frame. So at this rate, that will mean this candle closes like so. I need a little minor pause on the next M15, a weak bullish candle, which will still close the M30 back bearish at resistance, and then I can look to take a sell as price begins to break the minor support. And that, once again, is just playing to my strengths. It could melt, yeah, for sure, it could melt. There's a possibility the next candle create up, we can melt. But all I'm doing is, I can't stress enough, I'm training to my strengths, guys. I'm training to a pattern that I'm really familiar with, that I have the utmost confidence in it if it does present. And I know for a fact from the data I've accumulated that it will work about 8, 9, sometimes 10 times out of 10. If I just wait for it to happen. And avoid trying to get involved just now on the following candle. That's the difference between me and a lot of other traders. They don't have the discipline. They'll just... And not saying it's a shit trade, but it's just not a trade that, for me, is a high probability. Doesn't mean it can't work. I don't have the data so much to back it up, but from what I've seen, it's not as probable as what I want to see play out. So I'm just playing to my strengths. The tank sell potentially. Farid, he's my sister's dog, so he's here quite often, and he doesn't shut up. Our dog's quiet as a mouse. You never hear anything from. She's such a good girl. Any noise he barks though. He's typical little boy. Very cute though. All right, so I need this candle. That's a good closure, but I need these candles closed back weak bullish. If it melts now, again, I'm not taking it. It's a low probability, in my opinion, up against this 30-minute candle. If it doesn't play out, I don't trade. That's simple. There's no emotion attached whatsoever. GJ pushing through, and once again, nothing I can do about it. It's just, there is no structure whatsoever at all to it to buy. Give me any confidence in buying it. Ollie one. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Video 10. Again, not for me. I've explained exactly what I want to see happen. And again, it's just me playing to my strengths. I'm fully aware I can make the move now after I've not been it, if that's the case. GJ, yep, it's in that zone, but it just continues to push. Switches, bro. VO10, I mentioned again, I'm not selling it without my confirmation. I don't have it just yet. Melts and melts. Couldn't care less. Could not care less. I've already traded I've already taken a trade each day this week. One a day, 4 trades for 4 wins. Because I had the patience to wait for what I wanted to play out. That's what I'm exactly going to do now. Not going to jump into anything in between.
Yeah, it feels like we're due a non-trade day, isn't it?
Kind of, but again, it's just... Look, if we were to sit there for all 3 sessions, guaranteed we'll find at least 1 or 2 trades a day. Guaranteed. Something will always present. But that's not that's not why we're training. We're training because it gives us the freedom to choose exactly what hours we want to work, and we can work from really wherever we want to work. And we know if it presents during our time that we choose to be on the charts, fantastic. If not, it's just as important for us to realize that and just step away and realize that maybe it's a non-training day. Sometimes we get a few of those in a row. Sometimes we get 2 or 3 trades in a day. So
also, I like looking back on the week and seeing that I haven't traded every day. Just gives you that thing of, oh, I've actually been disciplined this week.
Yeah, correct. It took a while for me to learn that too, to be honest. Okay. Because like everyone else, when I started trading, it's like, all right, well, see, gold's red, time to sell. Had to be in pretty much straight away. Had to always find something. The tank, I agree. LZ, go to you. O'Brien's? Yeah, on YouTube. But again, it doesn't mean I just sell it when it taps into that level. There's a lot to it. Just start taking screenshots of what happens when price just purely taps into a level. I don't have enough data to back that up, to be honest, to just trust selling its price taps in. Doesn't look like it's going to happen because the thing is right now it has to pop up and create a decent upper wick and then just close weak bullish. It's leaving a long lower wick, so therefore it's going to be a very tricky Very tricky sell if that's the case. Because if this thing was to... Sorry, mate?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if this M15 was to close weak bullish, and let's just mark it in, just say roughly there. It's going to have a massive lower wick. Let's look at a 30. That means you're going to have a weak M30 closure with a massive wick to the downside. It's just... Yeah, it's not a great signal, in all honesty. What were you going to say, mate?
Yeah, I'm looking for some GPU cells. It's rejecting. But
Yep.
I'm waiting for
The 30?
strong close on the 30, correct? And then
Yep.
I'll wait because it's very difficult because of this strong bullish candle.
Yep.
I need at least a pause on the M15.
Correct.
So, and if I would have a weak bullish candle, there would be very
Yep.
good on the M15, and then taking the cells on the break on the of this weak bullish candle.
100%. That's exactly playing to your strength. Playing to our strengths. That's a familiar signal in price action that we would, react to. Without it, what Franco is saying here is that the 30-minute, which overrides the 15, was a very strong bullish engulfing candle. So you need to see a little bit more within. If it's not this 30-minute candle, you might need to wait for even a little bit more data in the next M15 to give you a strong enough reason to take the sell. Otherwise, the only real catalyst would be the bearish engulfing. If that's to be the case, you're back at support. So there's no sell anyway. So that's what we do. And once you've got the experience and you're familiar with what type of catalyst to wait for and look for at any given time, it becomes a lot easier. A lot less stressful anyway. Because you're simply reacting to the plan, reacting to the rules. The tank big news tomorrow, risky business, but can pay it really good. Yeah. Look, it's up to you guys. I'm not going to say you're an idiot for trade it, but I personally would do it because I've had bad experiences. Not traded news for like 4-5 years, something like that. Probably about 5 years now, to be honest. Yeah, first Friday every month. Yeah, NFP. Dill, dope levels, thank you. So that resistance is based off the 30 here. The support based off the 15. So I adjust before I start the 4 hour, and then I add or adjust zones accordingly on the 30 and 15. Do you use trailing ATM for your trades? Trailing, you mean like trailer stop loss now? I'm sorry, I'm not too sure. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me for being daft. I'm not too sure what you mean by ATM. Mark 3rd Friday of March, June, September, and December 2 triple witching hours. Watching hours. Do it straight killer trade NAS at 9 AM Central Standard Time. Use this day. Nice one. NAS at the resistance here, which I marked in yesterday. It's the 4 hour level. It's back up near the all-time highs again. This thing is just... And a lot of people calling for a massive meltdown in equities, and no way I'm touching equities at the minute because I still think at some point I think things are overbought, to be honest, but doesn't mean it can't continue up. I just wouldn't feel comfortable personally trading different, you know, it's a different story trading wise when it comes to the future. Personally, don't trust it. The tank sell 33.50. Your predictions? Sell to 33.50. Yeah, again, I'm not so concerned by that. I'm more concerned by the current areas that we're at. And it doesn't look like we're going to have a signal at the minute. GJ just, again, just destroying it to the upside. No structure whatsoever. This thing could continue to push. Can't chase it. Nothing you can do. Environment, if you have the MACD up, it might explain your theory. Yeah, no need for it personally. Again, it's indicators are lagging. If you know you can make use out of it, nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to say, you know, it's not worth using, but for me, pure price action is what I focus on. You dropping. This is EU. Oh well, what goes up must come down. Yeah, well, eventually, not everything goes up in a straight line forever, does it? So, yep, GJ, hopefully, some point, well, not hopefully, I couldn't care less, can do whatever it wants to do. But at some point, it's likely going to trigger in some sellers. It could be the next resistance, and then it may reject, may pull back to create the high low, and there could be buy options. Or could form some structure from the upside, and it could be options to sell it. But again, guys, all I'm doing is following my plan, and when it happens, presents, I have no idea. This week, 3 times it's presented away from the stream for 3 wins, once on stream for a win. 4-0 for the week, great start to the month. And yeah, that's all I can do as a trader. Stick to my plan. Alright guys, I'm gonna get moving. There's nothing. I'm not gonna get anything just now, I know it. To my team, I will jump on a live call with you guys in probably about an hour and 45 to 2 hours, an hour and a half maybe. It won't be into the open today, but we will jump on for a bit, do some analysis and stick around for a little bit. So I'll catch you guys later. Let me know if you take trades or if you're looking at anything in between. Cheers guys, take care.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Cheers later, Justin.
No worries, team. I'll catch you guys after.
Yeah, bye.
Bye guys. YouTube, TikTok, appreciate the support. Nothing today on stream, but all good. Just quickly, probably should have mentioned it before I ended the call for my guys. What I would be now looking for on gold is if this 15 closed quite strong, I don't want to leave a massive low wick, and then perhaps you had that little pause on the next M15, and then look to sell it as it begins to break that little minor 15-minute pause. That's your next potential entry on gold at the minute. So guys, take care, trade safe if you are to trade. TikTok, appreciate all of you and the support. YouTube, as always, guys, I'll be on tomorrow from about 30 minutes prior to London Open. It'll probably be a slightly quicker stream, to a shorter stream tomorrow, but anyway, we'll be on nonetheless. So I'll catch you guys then. Take care, trade safe. Till then, guys, go well. Cheers, team. Bye.